Dare to be Bold is brought to you by J.Forks Designs lifestyle accessory brand. Here at J.Forks Designs, Dare to be Bold is more than our motto, it's our way of life. I'm the host, Casey Forks. Today, we sat down with Clint Orms, the extremely talented leader behind Clint Orms Engravers. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us on today's episode of Dare to be Bold by J.Forks Designs. My name is Casey. I'm here today in Ingram, Texas with Clint Orms, engraver and silversmith. Is that a correct title for you, Clint?
That's perfect.
That work? All right. Thank you so much for letting us come in and visit with you today. We really appreciate it. This workshop is amazing. I know you guys can't see as much as we can view here, but it's fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do here?
We will make anything out of gold or silver here, and leather. But what we're really known for are our belts and buckles. I always wanted to have a shop that anyone could walk in and say, could you make this for me? And challenge us and give us a chance to make something and be able to do that. So we can do a lot of different things.
You have so much in here too that people can come in and look at and choose from. So I think that offers a lot for someone who just happens to walk in. How many employees do you have working here with you?
14.
Okay. And do they all kind of specialize in one thing or another, or is it everybody kind of a jack of all trades?
Yeah. Well, we do have, a lot of our guys can move from position to position, which is really good, and we try to cross-train. Mostly, they work on one area all day. Okay. And that's like one silversmith, he will make the whole piece. So there's a lot of different things he gets to do to make the piece. He doesn't just sit there and saw all day. So he gets to create a whole item.
How long does that typically take, kind of start to finish, just even the origination of the design till the entire thing is completed?
Yeah, one piece would probably average around 12 hours. Okay. But we have pieces that, maybe will just only take a couple hours. And then some of the pieces will take, as many as like 1,000 hours.
Oh, wow.
We take a lot, it'll just take a long time.
Okay. I noticed too, I was looking around, really enjoying looking at all of the photographs and magazine covers and articles that you have in here. You have really been able to work with some great folks, it looks like.
It's real rewarding, I said that when I started my company, I really wanted to make products for people who could, buy anything in the world they wanted, but they bought our pieces because they felt the value and the passion in the piece. And so, for the pieces that take a couple hours to make, we still try to put the same value and the same passion into it too. But with the people that buy it, it's really exciting. I love seeing a local come in and say, I've been saving my money to buy this, and I don't know, I get a kick out of all of our customers.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or get a real charge out of it.
Yeah. You were telling us a story too about a gentleman who ordered a belt buckle from you. Can you kind of relay that story?
I will say, it's been really great. Like when I started my company, I wanted my buckles to go out of Texas. Because I really wanted to spread what Texas is, as part of what Texas is about,
Right.
So I really love taking my buckles to the East Coast and the West Coast and to different parts of the world. So in Red Bank, New Jersey, there's a theater there. It's called the Count Basie Theater. And they went through a $300 million renovation and turned the museum around and just made it beautiful. And one of my good customers there is Buddy Carter, and Buddy bought buckles for some of the guys that were major contributors to the museum. And then Bruce Springsteen, he did a concert to raise money for the renovation too. And so Bruce got one of the buckles.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot of people got buckles. And one of them was the executive director. And he's an amazing guy. He's just really super accomplished in music. And his name is Richard. And I'd met Richard a couple of times, and he was talked about, how he loved the buckles. And when they bought one for him, he was just on top of the world. And so he called me up one time and he said, Clint, I was just in the Houston airport. And he goes, as I was walking through I got off the plane, I was walking through the airport, because people kept staring at me and looking at my waist and just looking at me. And I thought, what's going wrong? And he said he turned around to the wall and zipped his zipper up, and everything was okay there. And then he kept walking, and people kept staring at him. And then he thought, well, maybe I have toilet paper on my shoes or something. Looked down at it, it was fine. And then he finally realized that people were staring at his buckle. And he said, I realized that it was all okay because they just had buckle envy.
That's so funny. I love it. It's a great story.
Yeah, it's really great to see these guys that, really learn to accessorize their wardrobe with the belt buckle.
What would you say have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to deal with sort of creating this business and because you really have made such a name for yourself in this industry? What are some challenges that you've faced?
Being patient.
Okay.
Because you kind of want to do everything as fast as you can. Mm-hmm. You want to get, you want to reach all the customers you want to reach. You want to make the products to the level that you want to make. And just being able to, sometimes crawl when you really want to run.
Right.
Just be patient. And that's probably the hardest thing I've ever faced to do is to, learn how to be patient. I moved straight to California out of high school. And that was back before the internet. And I had one phone call interview with the company I went to work for. And so they said they would hire me and told me to come to work. We didn't discuss salary. We didn't discuss hours, anything. I just, packed up my little car and moved to California from Texas. And then so the second day after I got there, I went out to start looking for apartments. And I discovered that there were two price range of apartments. one was really expensive and one was not so expensive. But the ones that were not expensive all had missing tires on their cars outside, where someone jacked it up the night before and they were gone. So I figured out I couldn't afford to live there because I couldn't afford to keep buying tires and wheels. So I went and lied about my age at the other one because you had to be 21 to move in there. And luckily I had a ID that said I was 21, and I got an apartment there. And so
where the cost of living ended up being less than what it would have been at the other place.
Yeah. So the cost of the apartment was $350 a month, and that was 1977. And I mentioned I didn't know really how much I was going to make when I moved there. Well, they informed me when I moved in that I'd make minimum wage, and that was $2.50 an hour. So that was $100 a week. And so needless to say, I really struggled there to make my ends meet at first because I only had like $50 extra a month. It turned out a good thing that I was in my apartment at the time because they had a jacuzzi there. And when you learn how to engrave, you slip a lot. And what you do is you actually stab your hands. Okay. And all these little dots here where I stab my hand, and it's silver inside of it. Oh. So every night, at least I got to come home and stick my hand in the jacuzzi. Otherwise, I really couldn't have gone to work the next day. When you stab your hand gets really, really super sore.
Oh, wow.
And so I stabbed myself every day for at least a month. And if I hadn't been, if I hadn't been so far away from home, I hadn't spent so much money on deposit and first month's rent, last month's rent, all that stuff, I would have just packed up and left. It was really, really hard to learn how to do this. And I knew it was going to be hard, but I had no idea it was going to be that hard.
So what made you, you said, just kind of putting that money forward, but what else? There had to be some other driving force that just really kept you there and wanted that you felt you wanted to continue with this.
Well, part of it was definitely making a living. My parents were very great parents, but they depended on me to carry on. They were not going to send me money every month to make everything make the ends meet, and I'm really thankful that it was that way with me, because like I said, I would have quit and maybe tried something else, and I was forced to keep going. But I really had a passion to do this. Right. I got to see what it meant for someone to wear a belt buckle. And I saw the great cowboys in Texas win buckles, and they had unbelievable pride in those buckles, and it was something they got to put on every day, and they loved it.
Right. It becomes a part of who a person is, like really just an essential part of their being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a great experience to see these guys win the buckles. And then also I had the experience of one of my best friends, his grandfather giving him his buckle. And so he, that was such a great sense of pride for him. And when he picked it up and put it on every day, he was building those memories of what his grandfather had.
Right.
So I really had a desire to be able to, have a company like that someday.
What advice would you give to people who are looking to sort of create their own identity, their own business, their own, and in so doing, whether it's creating something or it's entirely different, but what advice would you give to them even when things look bleak or times are tough? What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, write it down. Write down what you want, because I have this set of notes I can always look back to, and then which will remind me of really what I want. And then and just don't give up, just really keep going after it. Just don't think about what it takes to do it. Just do it.
And day by day, I think too. I think sometimes you can get bogged down with the big picture of everything that has to be done, but maybe if you just take it one step at a time, and reach those milestones gradually, and like you said, you kind of have to be patient too.
Yeah. I get overwhelmed in our job back here sometimes because we will take on some unusual jobs, not knowing exactly how we're going to do it. Right. And there's some jobs where it's just hard. Most of all of our jobs are really extremely hard. They're not just a cookie cutter, put A on B and make C. It really is. It's hard to make things work.
And I think the reward from that challenge, again, is probably just so incredibly fulfilling for you once you create that piece. I
was just going to say that, when you guys walked in and I was carving those cactus on that piece, we sit down and we carve each little angle on those cactus. And it's kind of the only way you can get that really great look is to sit there and keep working it and working it and working it. And pretty soon you end up with a really great piece.
Yeah, an amazing piece.
There's, sometimes just doing things the hard way really pays off.
And let me ask you this, because I am not familiar with what it takes to be a silversmith or engrave. Are there, when you are engraving a piece of silver, if something maybe doesn't look exactly how you intended it originally, is there a way to sort of correct that, or do you just kind of continue moving forward with the design and work around it? How does that kind of all work?
Well, you do make mistakes when you're working on pieces, and then we, in 25 years, we've hardly ever just trashed something. A couple of times we've really burned something up, and you have to trash it. But if you're engraving on a piece or you're soldering on it and you get soldered, you can usually take that off, or you can just put another piece on top of it and make it even better than what you plan to do. And that's the trick, I think. And anything that you're going to do is that when you're if you try to do things well enough, you're going to create mistakes. You're just going to have to try to do things you've never done. So when we do things we've never done before, we do make mistakes. But then at the same time you just look at it and think, how can I make it better?
Yeah, and I think that you're touching on a point, especially for people in a creative industry. You really kind of have to put yourself out there and take those risks and then reap the rewards then that come with it. And I think in making mistakes, you learn from that and then you continue on. Would you agree with that? Is that
right? Yeah. If you hear really successful people that are motivational type speakers, they'll always tell you, it took me 100 times to do this wrong and I finally got it right.
Right.
And so it's that way in anything. To keep looking for the goodness in it and try to make it right.
Right, and face those challenges. Do you feel like you're getting better progressively still all the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our shop is getting better every day.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. Our team is brilliant. Yeah.
Which has got to be its own reward for you. Seeing what you are accomplishing and having this team of people that you are able to work with and creating these things, I imagine is just an amazing sense of accomplishment for you.
It is.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, just constantly getting better and making our products better. I think that notoriety is coming kind of on its own. So our name is getting spread really well, and I'm really happy with that. So we're being able to reach more people, and as we can do that, maybe we can grow our business a little bit more. And our customers are doing it for us. They're referring us to other people, and we have the best customers in the world. And I hope that they can say the same thing about us. But they really definitely take care of us, and my main goal is to take care of them.
And I think that speaks volumes, because when you have customers who are happy, they are going to be the best advertisement that you have, because they want to tell people about what a great experience they've had with you.
One time I was in California and doing a trunk show in Sonoma, California, and I got a call from a gentleman that was doing a photo shoot, and he said, "Hey Clint, I'm doing a photo shoot, and I'm in LA. How can I meet up with you?" So the next morning I was supposed to be in LA flying through, and I said, "I'm going to be in LA at 8:00, and I don't leave until 10:30. I can meet you at 8:30." And he said, "Okay, I'll meet you there." And so I didn't know who he was or what he was doing or anything. So I got there, and I had buckles with me, and I just pulled them out and I started showing them to him. He picked out some, and I said, what do you mind telling me what this is for? He goes, "Oh yeah, we're doing the photo shoot for Cowboys and Indians. It's for Matt Damon and Billy Bob Thornton."
Oh, wow.
And he goes, "They want Billy Bob to wear this buckle for the cover of it. He said he's not going to wear anybody's but Clint's buckles." And so
what a great story.
So it was really cool, because I knew Billy Bob was buying our buckles. I never met him or anything, and I still haven't. But for him to stand up and tell him that he wasn't going to wear that buckle, he only wear Clint buckles, I thought that was
That's
really
fantastic. Cool. Yeah, and I actually saw that. That's over there, right?
Yeah.
That magazine one. That's awesome. I love it. All right, so somebody who's listening to this or watching this right now, and they are interested in finding out more about you, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can go on our website and find all the information there.
Okay.
And it's just ClintOrms.com. We have a Instagram page.
Okay.
It's Clint Orms Buckles, and we have a Facebook page too.
Great.
So, if you want to follow us on those things, you can kind of see some of the latest things we've made.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate you meeting with us today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That was Clint Orms from Clint Orms Engravers and Silversmiths. Our next podcast will be available on August 9th, and we are sitting down with Aaron and Brian, two incredible young men that went through Warrior's Heart and are now chasing their dreams sober. Dare to be Bold is a branded podcast from J.Forks Designs. This episode was produced by me, Casey Forks, Jenny Forks, and Courtney Cobb. Courtney Cobb mixed this episode. You can find Dare to be Bold on SoundCloud and iTunes, or watch on YouTube. Do us a favor and help spread the news about our show. You can also find us at jforksdesigns.com. I'm Casey Forks. Thanks for listening.